I'm Teresa, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me here today. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this beautiful gel printed leaf wreath. Beautiful for the autumn season, for Thanksgiving, for home decor at this time of year. Really easy project to make and very realistic looking in my opinion. Before I get on to showing you how to do this, I would like to mention last week I announced the winner of my 15,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm still waiting to hear from the winner of that. So if you're watching today, you know you entered the draw but didn't check out the video last week to see if you won. Please go and have a look. I'll pop the link up in the corner and I will also link in the end card as well. I'd hate if you were the winner I'd hate for you to miss out, so I can't leave this open forever. So please do go and check out that video and find out whether you are the winner if you know that you'd left a comment to enter. But as I say, today we're going to be making this beautiful seasonal decoration. I'm going to get set up with my gel plate and I'll show you how it's done. I'm going to begin, as always, with a quick rundown of what I'm using today. This is my 8 by 10 inch Jelly Arts gel plate. You can use whatever size you want. I'm just using this larger size today because it means I need to create less prints for me to have the amount that I need to complete the project. I've got a brayer, using my Speedball rubber brayer, but again, any brayer will do. The paper that I'm printing on today is just some out of a sketchbook. It's quite a heavyweight paper, I'd say around about 160 to 180 GSM. I didn't really want to use cardstock because I'm going to be cutting it out, and I find if I'm cutting out quite a bit of cardstock, especially if you were going to be doing it by hand, it can be laborious and a bit heavy on the hands, but regular copy paper isn't quite thick enough for this. It'll start to curl and won't look so good. So this is a nice sort of middle of the road weight of paper. The paints I'm using are the Arteza tubes of acrylic colour. Just picked a selection that sort of say autumn to me. I've got orange yellow, crimson red, orange red, yellow ochre, pearl copper gold and Mars orange. Just thought they might look nice together and work well. And I'm looking today just to create some sort of fairly organic looking backgrounds because we're going to be making leaves. So to create some texture and patterning in the paint, this is just some scrunched up kitchen foil. This, I've used this before on other things here, but if you press that into the paint, it creates a nice background. And this here is just some like plastic netting. It was from one of those like a bath puff, shower puff, and again just sort of scrunch it up and dabbing it into the paint should create just some nice texture. You can use stencils, you can use whatever you want to create patterning, but I thought rather than sort of definite stenciled patterns this time, I just wanted to create some sort of organic background because, as I say, I'm creating some leaves today. The only other things I've got is paper towel and water for cleaning up if necessary, and some pieces of paper just off to the side that I use to roll off any excess paint that's on my brayer. But that's about it for now. So we'll get on with layering some paint onto the plate and just creating different layers until I'm happy with the result that I've got. Again, this one, it doesn't have to be too precise. We're going to be cutting these up, so we're going to be using small areas of the prints. So this gives us the freedom to be you don't have to think too hard about what we're doing this time. once you've finished your prints, and I really like how these have come out. They're very subtle, natural looking, just some interesting texture and shading. And the copper, the pearlescent paint that's in there just adds a little extra shimmer, which is really, really nice. So I just do like the subtle variations between each of the pieces that I've got. The only other thing that I've done to these is just apply a bit of paint to the back. I just sprayed a layer of paint onto the plate and just did a single pull, just so that I haven't got any white on the back of the leaves once I've cut them out. You shouldn't see the backs, but just in case, it's I just thought it was easier to apply a little bit of colour now. So for my wreath base, this is just some cardboard. I've drawn on a plate and a bowl. It's about 8 inches in diameter. Use whatever size you want. Obviously, the bigger the wreath, the more leaves you're going to need. And I've just cut 2 layers of card, glued them together just to make it quite sturdy and, you know, ready to hang up. I'm going to be wrapping some burlap around here, and I'd got a piece of burlap and I've just cut myself some strips about 1 inch wide so that I can wrap round. You could wrap round with some something like some garden twine or natural ribbon, and I'm just going to cover about 2/3 of this, if not all of it, just so that you don't see the cardboard on the exposed areas, because obviously I'm not popping leaves all the way around my wreath. If you're going to completely cover your wreath with leaves, you could skip this step if you want to. And I've got a hot glue gun here. It's going to be the quickest and easy way to attach things to the cardboard. So I'm just going to begin with a little touch of glue and pop my Hessian burlap ribbon in place, and then I can just go round, overlapping slightly to cover this cardboard base. So there we go. Once it's covered, just trim off any of the very loose ends. It does have a habit of fraying, but I don't mind a few little bits and pieces, but I don't want the very long bits. So quite happy with that as my base. And now it's time to start thinking about the leaves. So as I said earlier, I've used a die cutting machine and a cutting die to cut out my maple leaves, and I really love the effect that they do look actually quite realistic, like autumn leaves, and the subtle variations in colours are really, really pretty. So I've cut some out here. I've only used, I think, about half of the prints that I've got. And before I glue them on, I'm just going to give the leaves a little bit of a crease down the centre, just so that they don't lie completely flat. If we want these to look fairly realistic, it's nice just to give them a little bit of shape, so that they won't all just stack up flat on top of our wreath. And I'm going to be using the glue gun, applying a little dot of glue to my covered wreath, and then just sticking that in place just under the widest part at the base of the leaf there. And I'm going to continue adding more, staggering them a little bit. Just so that I can cover the base of the wreath. If you find it easier to apply a dab of glue directly to the leaf, do that. But I'm just going to continue in this fashion until I'm happy. I'm not sure at this point whether I'm going to go all the way around my wreath or just cover part of it. Obviously at the beginning in the intro you will have seen what my final decision was, but at the moment I'm undecided. I like to sort of leave my options open and see what I'm thinking as I go along. So I'm just going to continue adding these on, and I shall be back to show you what that looks like when I've done that. And here's the finished wreath. As you can see, I decided to go all the way around with the leaves. Really, I just thought it looked so effective. I wanted to continue and complete the entire thing. For those of you that are interested, I used 36 leaves. And the die that I've used, I have no idea of the name of the manufacturer. It was a cover gift with a magazine over here. I believe it would either have been Papercraft Essentials or Die Cutting Essentials. Not this year, last year. And it's, as I say, it's a couple of inches in size. And it came with this, and it came with another one that fitted inside that you can cut out like a filigree leaf. But there are plenty of dies on the market. If you just search for you know, leaf cutting dies, there's lots of different ones. But for anyone who's interested, 36 of those is what I used on this wreath, which is, as I say, approximately 8 inches in diameter. I added a little bit of twine at the top just so that I can hang it, but really pleased. I think it looks so effective, very realistic. I like the subtle sheen that I've got using those paints. Very happy with how this has turned out, and I hope that you can see how versatile this project could be. If you used a holly leaf and green prints, you've got yourself a Christmas decoration. Use pastel shades and a different shaped leaf and you could make a beautiful Easter or spring decoration as well. If you've got any spare leaves left over, you could decorate table settings. You could possibly make little napkin rings and put some leaves on, but really nice for the season, for autumn, for those of you about to celebrate Thanksgiving. You know, so something very pretty and topical at the moment. As always though, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you again soon. But for now, that's all. Bye.